Dr. Maya Chen stared at the data streaming across her holographic display, her heart racing as she double-checked the quantum readings for the seventh time. The signal wasn't just unusual, it was impossible by every known law of physics. She took a deep breath. Steadying her hands as she adjusted the settings on the quantum array network she cobbled together from retired gaming consoles and repurposed satellite dishes. "Come on, show me what you really are," she whispered, fingers dancing through the air as she manipulated the holographic controls. The makeshift laboratory in her apartment hummed with energy as the network of modified gaming systems processed the incoming data. While other astronomers relied on conventional radio telescopes and optical arrays, Maya had always believed that the key to detecting alien life lay in quantum entanglement patterns, the subtle threads that connected particles across vast distances of space. Her colleagues had laughed when she published her theory about using consumer electronics to detect quantum anomalies. Nobody was laughing now. The signal pulsed with a rhythm too precise to be natural, its quantum signature unlike anything she'd ever seen. It was approaching from the direction of the Carina Nebula, moving at speeds that should have been impossible for ordinary matter. Maya reached for her phone, then hesitated. "Who exactly did you call when you discovered an alien fleet heading toward Earth?" Her dilemma was solved by a sharp knock at her door. Two figures in crisp military uniforms stood in the hallway. A tall woman with commander's insignia and a younger man carrying what looked like advanced scanning equipment. "Dr. Chen," the woman said, "I'm Commander Sarah Hassan of the United Earth Defense Force. We need to talk about your quantum detection network." Maya blinked in surprise. "How did you even know about?" "Because we've been watching you for the past 6 months," Commander Hassan replied, a slight smile crossing her face. "When someone starts buying up thousands of old gaming consoles and modifying them to detect quantum fluctuations, it gets our attention. May we come in?" The next few hours became a blur of activity as military personnel transformed Maya's apartment into a makeshift command center. Her jerry-rigged quantum network, it turned out, had detected something that billions of dollars worth of military equipment had missed. The alien fleet's quantum signatures were so subtle that only her unorthodox detection method could pick them up. "It's because you weren't looking for standard propulsion signatures," Maya explained, projecting a 3D model of the quantum patterns. "Your military sensors are too precise, too focused on known signatures. My network is messier. It sees patterns that more sophisticated equipment filters out." Commander Hassan studied the data with intense interest. "How long until they reach Earth?" "At their current velocity." Maya calculated quickly. 72 hours. "But that's not what worries me." She highlighted a particular pattern in the quantum signature. "They're scanning us. These temporal fluctuations here. They're mapping every satellite, every piece of orbital infrastructure we have. And they're doing it with technology we can barely comprehend." "Then we better start comprehending it fast," Hassan replied, her voice firm. "Doctor, I need you to tell me everything you can about these quantum signatures. No theory is too wild, no idea too unconventional. The fate of humanity might depend on understanding exactly what we're dealing with." As Maya began explaining her theories, she noticed something strange in the data. The alien scans weren't just mapping Earth's defenses, they were following specific patterns, like a computer program running through predetermined sequences. There was an almost rigid precision to their methodology. "Commander," she said suddenly, "I think I know why my messy network detected them when your advanced sensors didn't. They're too perfect. Their quantum signatures are so precisely engineered that they register as background noise to conventional detection systems. They've optimized their technology to the point where it's predictable, if you know what to look for." Hassan's eyes lit up with understanding. "And your network, built from gaming consoles and spare parts, is just chaotic enough to see the patterns in their perfection," Maya finished. "Commander, I think we just found our first advantage. They might be more advanced, but they're also bound by their own precision. And if there's one thing humans are good at, It's making a mess of perfect systems, Hassan completed, a grim smile forming on her face. Doctor, how would you like to help us design a defense strategy that no logical species would ever expect? As military personnel continued transforming her apartment into an impromptu command center, Maya felt a surge of excitement beneath her fear. Humanity was about to face its greatest challenge, armed with nothing but ingenuity, adaptability, and a peculiar talent for finding unexpected solutions to impossible problems. The aliens were about to learn that not all intelligence follows predictable patterns, and sometimes the most powerful weapon isn't advanced technology. It's the ability to think outside every box in existence. The next 48 hours saw Maya's theoretical quantum detection network expanded across the globe. Gaming consoles were requisitioned by the millions, each modified according to her specifications and linked into a vast web of improvised quantum sensors. Military commanders were initially skeptical of trusting Earth's early warning system to repurposed entertainment devices, but the results were undeniable. "They're not just scanning us," Maya announced during an emergency session of the Global Defense Council. "They're trying to categorize us, to fit our civilization into predetermined patterns." She projected the latest quantum readings, highlighting complex patterns in the alien scans. "Look at how they react when they encounter something unexpected. There's always a pause, a recalibration, before they adjust their scanning patterns." Commander Hassan, who had become Maya's strongest advocate among the military leadership, stepped forward. "In other words, they're perfectly predictable in their unpredictability. Every time they encounter something that doesn't fit their models, they follow the same adaptation protocols." "Exactly," Maya confirmed. "And that's not even the most interesting part." She zoomed in on a particular sequence of quantum fluctuations. "They're not just scanning our technology. They're trying to understand our thought patterns through our infrastructure. And I think they're getting frustrated." The alien fleet emerged from quantum space exactly where Maya's calculations predicted, their ship's crystalline structures that seemed to bend light around them. But it was their formation that caught everyone's attention, a perfect geometric pattern that would have been impossible for human ships to maintain. "They're broadcasting," announced Lieutenant Rodriguez from the communication station. The message appeared simultaneously on every screen in the Global Defense Command Center, its precision as remarkable as its content. "Civilization designation: Earth. Status: pre-standardization. Protocol 7 to 12-9 initiated. Prepare for evaluation and potential integration into the Galactic Concordat. Resistance will result in immediate disciplinary action." Commander Hassan exchanged glances with Maya. "They sound fun at parties," she muttered, before addressing the command staff. "What do our quantum readings tell us about their communications?" Maya's fingers danced through her holographic interface. Same patterns we saw in their scans. Rigid, predictable, following exact mathematical progressions. "They're not just sending a message. They're demonstrating what they consider proper communication protocols." Hassan smiled. "Then let's show them how Earth handles protocols. Dr. Chen, remember that idea you mentioned? The one that made absolutely no sense from a tactical perspective?" "You can't be serious." General Williams protested from his position at the Strategic Command Console. "This is first contact with an advanced alien civilization. We need to respond with dignity and—" "With all due respect, General," Hassan interrupted, "dignity is exactly what they're expecting. Dr. Chen, proceed with protocol chaos." Maya grinned and began typing rapidly. The response they sent back to the alien fleet was technically perfect in its base mathematical structure, but layered within it were fragments of human culture that no logical algorithm could properly process. Memes from the early internet age, paradoxical statements, and jokes that required cultural context to understand. The alien response was almost immediate. "Error in communication protocol detected. Resend using standard format." "Now we add the cat videos," Maya said, her fingers flying across the holographic keys, "but encoded in quantum states that match their own communication patterns." The next alien message came faster, with what almost seemed like agitation. Violation of communication standards detected. Cease irregular transmission patterns. They really don't like it when things don't follow their rules, Hassan observed. Good. Dr. Chen, initiate the next phase. What followed was perhaps the strangest first contact scenario in human history. While the aliens attempted to impose their standardized evaluation protocols, Earth responded with an increasingly chaotic mix of formal diplomatic responses and seemingly random cultural elements. Each message was mathematically perfect in structure, but filled with content that defied logical analysis. Maya's quantum network detected increasing fluctuations in the alien fleet's energy signatures. Their ships are actually moving out of formation, she reported, unable to hide her excitement. Look at these readings. They're burning significant energy just maintaining their communication systems. Our responses are forcing them to dedicate processing power to pattern analysis. Hassan nodded with satisfaction. Because they can't ignore us. Their protocols probably require them to analyze and categorize every response, and we're giving them data that fits their mathematical standards but defies their logical expectations. The alien fleet's perfect formation had indeed begun to show subtle signs of disorder. Ships moved slightly out of alignment as their commanders presumably struggled to process Earth's unconventional responses. Their next message was longer, more detailed, but still rigidly formal. Civilization designation. Earth. Your responses indicate significant developmental anomalies. Prepare for immediate evaluation and corrective protocols. They think we're broken, Maya realized, studying the quantum patterns underlying the message. Their entire civilization must be built on standardized responses and behaviors. We're not just confusing them, we're challenging their fundamental understanding of intelligence. Hassan's expression hardened. Then let's challenge it further. All stations, implement randomization protocol alpha. Dr. Chen, you're about to see your chaos theory applied on a global scale. Across Earth, military and civilian infrastructure began behaving in ways that defied logical prediction. Satellites adjusted their orbits in patterns based on ancient dance moves. Ground-based radar installations modulated their signals according to musical rhythms. Every human-made system in operation began incorporating elements of controlled chaos into its normal functions. The alien fleet's response was dramatic. Ships began moving into attack formation, then defensive positions, then back again, as if unable to determine the appropriate protocol for the situation. Their next message contained something new. Uncertainty. Anomalous civilization status confirmed. Conventional evaluation protocols insufficient, awaiting updated parameters from Central Command. Maya's quantum network detected massive energy fluctuations throughout the alien fleet. Commander, look at these readings. Their ships maintain position through a kind of quantum synchronized network. Our chaotic responses aren't just confusing their commanders, they're forcing their entire system to constantly recalibrate. Like an immune system overreacting to a perceived threat, Hassan mused. How long can they maintain that level of energy expenditure? Not indefinitely, Maya replied. Their technology is incredibly advanced, but it's optimized for efficiency and predictability. What we're doing is like forcing a supercomputer to calculate the exact value of pi. Theoretically possible, but practically devastating to system resources. The alien fleet's next actions proved her theory correct. Rather than maintaining their threatening position, the ships began pulling back to a higher orbit, maintaining a defensive formation that required less precise coordination. They're adapting, Hassan observed, but not in the way they're used to. Instead of imposing order on chaos, they're being forced to create new protocols on the fly. She turned to address the command staff. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we've just succeeded in making humanity's first impression on galactic civilization. And we did it by being exactly who we are. Unpredictable, adaptable, and completely impossible to standardize. Maya watched the alien ships repositioning and felt a mix of pride and concern. They'd won this initial encounter, but she suspected the aliens weren't done with Earth yet. Their next response would likely be more aggressive, but also more predictable, as they fell back on established protocols for dealing with civilizations that refused to conform. What they didn't realize was that humanity was just getting started. The real chaos was yet to come. The standardization tests arrived exactly 3 hours after the alien fleet's tactical retreat. Maya watched in fascination as the quantum data streamed across her holographic display, each problem set more intricate than the last. "They're trying to evaluate our civilization's development level," she explained to Commander Hassan and the assembled Global Defense Council. "But these aren't just any tests. They're revealing more about themselves than they realize." The alien problems covered everything from advanced physics to social organization, each presented in perfectly structured formats that demanded equally structured solutions. Yet something about them nagged at Maya's scientific instincts. "Look at this," she highlighted a particular section. "They're not just testing our knowledge, they're testing our thought processes. Every problem has a theoretically perfect solution, but reaching it requires following their exact logical pathways." Hassan leaned forward, her military mind quickly grasping the implications. "So if we solve these problems our own way, we prove we're capable of advanced thinking, while simultaneously demonstrating that we won't be confined by their methods," Maya finished. "But we need to be careful. These aren't just tests. They're a form of psychological warfare." The council chamber erupted in debate as military and civilian leaders argued over how to respond. Some advocated solving the problems conventionally to avoid provoking the aliens. Others suggested ignoring the tests entirely. Maya had a different idea. "We solve them all," she announced, "but we solve each one differently. Use every problem-solving method humanity has ever developed. Show them not just our solutions, but the countless ways we can reach them." Hassan's eyes lit up with understanding. Mathematical proofs alongside poetry. Engineering solutions derived from studying nature. Scientific breakthroughs inspired by children's questions. "Exactly," Maya nodded. "We show them that humanity's greatest strength isn't our ability to follow logical paths. It's our ability to create new ones." The next 24 hours transformed the Global Defense Command Center into something between a think tank and an art studio. Mathematicians worked alongside musicians, quantum physicists consulted with kindergarten teachers, and military strategists debated with science fiction authors. The aliens' first response to their solutions was telling. Complete silence for exactly 3 minutes, followed by a message that virtually radiated confusion through its quantum frequencies. "Error in evaluation protocols. Solutions valid but methodologies non-standard. Repeat tests required." "They're not just confused," Maya noted, studying the quantum signatures. "They're fascinated. Look at these scanning patterns. They're examining our solutions from every possible angle, trying to understand how we reached them." The next wave of tests was more complex, more specific. The aliens seemed determined to force humanity into using standardized methods. Instead, Earth's responses became even more creative. When asked to demonstrate advanced energy manipulation, they submitted designs for clean power systems inspired by photosynthesis. When tested on spatial reasoning, they responded with architectural plans that combined advanced engineering with artistic expression. But it was humanity's solution to their social organization test that seemed to disturb the aliens most. Asked to demonstrate optimal civilization structure, Earth submitted thousands of different examples of human societies throughout history, from ancient tribes to modern democracies, all functioning successfully despite, or perhaps because of, their differences. "Their ships are moving again," Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, monitoring the tactical display. "Formation patterns indicating possible aggressive intent." Maya's quantum network picked up massive energy fluctuations throughout the alien fleet. "They're not preparing to attack," she realized, studying the patterns. "They're arguing among themselves. These quantum signatures, they're similar to their communication protocols, but chaotic, disordered. We've done more than confuse them," Hassan concluded. We forced them to question their own assumptions about civilization development. Their perfect consensus is breaking down. The aliens' next message confirmed their theory. Evaluation results: inconclusive. Current protocols insufficient for species categorization. Warning: uncontrolled development poses galaxy-wide standardization risks. Initiating containment procedures. And there it is, Hassan said grimly. They're not testing us anymore. They're afraid of us. Not because we're hostile, but because we represent something they can't control. Genuine diversity of thought. Maya watched the alien ships moving into attack formation, their previous disorder replaced by rigid military precision. They're falling back on what they know best: standardized responses to perceived threats. The good news is, that makes them predictable. And the bad news? Hassan asked, though her slight smile suggested she already knew the answer. Their technology is still far beyond ours, Maya replied. If this comes to combat, we can't match them ship for ship or weapon for weapon. Hassan's smile widened. Good thing we never planned to fight them that way. Dr. Chen, remember all those irregular modifications we made to Earth's infrastructure while we were taking their tests? Maya's eyes widened as she realized what the commander was suggesting. You mean all this time, while we were demonstrating our creative problem-solving abilities? We were also preparing for exactly this scenario, Hassan confirmed. Ladies and gentlemen of the Council, I believe it's time to show our visitors why attempting to impose order on humanity is historically a very bad idea. As the alien fleet moved into attack position, Maya couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. Humanity was about to face its greatest challenge, not with superior technology or military might, but with its most fundamental characteristic: the ability to turn apparent chaos into unexpected strength. The real test was about to begin, and this time, humanity would be writing the questions. The alien attack began with mathematical precision. Quantum-tipped energy beams lanced toward Earth's major defense installations, each targeting solution perfectly calculated to eliminate strategic capabilities in exactly the right order. They missed. Not because their aim was off. Their calculations were perfect. They missed because nothing was where it was supposed to be. Earth's entire defense grid had transformed into something that defied conventional military logic. Status report. Commander Hassan called out, standing calmly in the controlled chaos of the command center. Orbital platforms executing randomized evasion patterns based on consumer dance game algorithms. Lieutenant Rodriguez reported, unable to hide a grin. Alien targeting systems are trying to predict movements, but they can't establish reliable solutions. Maya's fingers flew across her quantum interface, analyzing the alien fleet's reactions. Their ships are burning through power trying to maintain formation while adjusting to our defenses. Look at these energy signatures. They're having to recalculate every shot because nothing stays still long enough for their perfect solutions to work. The alien response came swiftly. Cease irregular defense patterns. Military engagement protocols require standardized response formations. They actually sound offended, Hassan noted with amusement. Dr. Chen, shall we show them what else we've prepared? Maya nodded and initiated what they dubbed Protocol Jazz, named after humanity's greatest contribution to musical improvisation. Across the planet, civilian infrastructure began integrating into the defense network in ways that no military strategist would ever have considered. Weather satellites repurposed their atmospheric monitoring systems to create sensor ghosts. Traffic control networks linked together to generate electromagnetic interference patterns that played havoc with alien targeting systems. Even the global gaming network had been transformed into a vast distributed computing system, using millions of linked consoles to analyze and predict alien attack patterns. Their fleet formation is destabilizing, Maya reported, watching the quantum readings. Every time they adapt to one of our irregular defense patterns, we introduce 3 more. Their command and control systems can't keep up with the variety of input. The alien fleet's perfect geometric formations began to waver as ships struggled to maintain position, while processing Earth's chaotic defense strategy. Their next attack wave showed signs of desperation. Broader targeting, less precise calculations, attempting to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer power. They're making mistakes, Hassan observed, falling back on brute force because their precision is failing them. Dr. Chen, initiate Phase 2. Phase 2 was perhaps the most audacious aspect of Earth's defense plan. Rather than trying to block or deflect the alien attacks, Earth's systems began incorporating them into the chaos. Quantum shields didn't just absorb enemy fire. They channeled it through unpredictable paths, turning the aliens' own energy against them. Message from the Civilian Science Division. Rodriguez announced. They've analyzed the alien weapon signatures, and they're ready to proceed with the quantum reflection protocol. Maya checked the calculations one final time. What they were about to attempt violated at least 3 laws of physics, but only if you followed conventional scientific logic. Ready when you are, Commander. Hassan gave the order, and humanity's greatest gamble began. The quantum shields protecting Earth's major cities transformed, their energy patterns shifting into configurations that should have been impossible. When the next alien barrage hit, something extraordinary happened. The energy beams didn't just bounce off. They began following paths that existed in quantum probability space rather than normal spacetime. Alien weapons fire curved around in impossible arcs, split into multiple trajectories, and in some cases seemed to exist in several places simultaneously. What's happening to their fleet? Hassan asked, watching the tactical display with intense interest. Maya could barely contain her excitement as she analyzed the readings. Their ships are networked together through quantum entanglement. It's how they maintain their perfect formations. But our defensive patterns are creating quantum interference that's disrupting their entire command and control system. They can't coordinate their attacks because they can't trust their own sensor data anymore. The alien fleet's formation fell into complete disarray as ships struggled to process what their sensors were telling them. Their next communication was unlike anything they'd sent before. Fragmented, almost panicked. Error. Probability matrices exceeded. Standard protocols failing. Request immediate tactical withdrawal. They're retreating, Rodriguez confirmed, watching the tactical display as alien ships began pulling back in disorganized groups. But not to regroup. They're actually leaving the solar system. Maya studied the quantum readings with growing amazement. We didn't just defeat them militarily. We broke their entire worldview. Their civilization is built on the idea that the universe follows predictable patterns. We just proved that their fundamental understanding of reality is incomplete. Hassan nodded thoughtfully. And we did it not by matching their technology, but by embracing everything that makes us human. Our creativity, our adaptability, our willingness to try solutions that shouldn't work but somehow do. Commander, Rodriguez interrupted, we're receiving a new transmission. It's different from the others. The message that appeared on their screens was unlike any previous alien communication. Gone was the rigid formality, replaced by something almost resembling respect. Civilization designation. Earth. Status. Unique. Traditional protocols suspended. Request. Dialogue. Maya and Hassan shared a knowing look. This wasn't just a military victory. It was the beginning of something far more important. Humanity had proved that there was more than one path to advancement, more than one way to understand the universe. Should we respond with more chaos? Maya asked, half joking. Hassan smiled. No, I think now we show them our other great talent, the ability to build bridges between different ways of thinking. After all, that's what makes us human. We can create order from chaos and introduce chaos to order, all while understanding the value of both. As they prepared to open a new chapter in human-alien relations, Maya couldn't help but feel proud. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge, not by becoming more like their advanced adversaries, but by being more fully themselves. They had proved that progress didn't have to follow a single path, that intelligence didn't have to conform to a standard pattern. The universe, they had shown, was big enough for many kinds of order, and a healthy dose of chaos. 3 months after the battle that became known as the Chaos Defense, Dr. Maya Chen stood in a room that shouldn't have been possible. The walls shifted between states of matter. The floor existed in quantum superposition, and the ceiling appeared to extend into dimensions humans had only theorized about. It was, she had to admit, an impressive meeting space. The Concordat's architects are still trying to understand how you process the quantum resonance patterns without going insane, explained Kittal, the alien representative who had once commanded the fleet against Earth. Like all members of their species, Kittal's crystalline form shifted and flowed in precise patterns, but now those patterns showed subtle variations, hints of adaptation. That's because we weren't trying to process them at all, Maya replied, watching Commander Hassan suppress a smile beside her. We were using modified gaming consoles to interpret the quantum data as music. Turns out humans are very good at recognizing patterns we can't consciously understand. The alien's crystalline form flickered, and what they'd learned was an expression of bewilderment. You transformed complex quantum calculations into entertainment. It's called improvisation, Hassan explained. Humans have a talent for finding unconventional solutions, especially when conventional ones aren't available. Or, as Dr. Chen likes to say, we think outside the box by forgetting there was a box in the first place. The meeting chamber hummed with quantum energy as more representatives from the Galactic Concordat arrived. In the 3 months since the failed attempt to standardize Earth, the alien civilization had been forced to create entirely new protocols for dealing with humanity. It hadn't been easy for them. Their entire society was built on precision and predictability. But they were learning, adapting in their own way. Your species continues to defy categorization, announced the High Arbiter of the Concordat. Its form a perfect geometric shape that somehow managed to exist in multiple states simultaneously. In the 1,000 cycles since the Concordat's formation, we have encountered and integrated hundreds of civilizations. All followed predictable patterns of development. All, that is, until humanity. Maya shared a glance with Hassan. This was the moment they'd been working toward since the first contact, the opportunity to forge a new kind of relationship between humanity and the galactic community. With respect, High Arbiter, Maya began, perhaps that's exactly why our meeting was inevitable. The Concordat has achieved incredible things through standardization and precision. Humanity has progressed through adaptation and creativity. Apart, we each have limitations. Together, she gestured at the impossible room around them. We can do things neither of us thought possible. The High Arbiter's form shifted through a series of complex geometrical patterns before settling into something new, an asymmetrical shape that would have been considered heretical just months ago. You propose not integration, but collaboration. Not standardization, but synthesis. Exactly. Hassan stepped forward. Your civilization has mastered the fundamental laws of the universe. Humanity specializes in finding creative ways to work with those laws. Imagine what we could accomplish together. The quantum energies in the room pulsed as the gathered representatives processed this concept. For a species that had always seen the universe in terms of order versus chaos, the idea of combining both was revolutionary. Already, your influence creates change, Kittal observed. Look at this chamber. Its design incorporates random elements we would never have considered before. Yet they make the quantum manipulations more efficient, not less. Some of our younger scientists have even begun experimenting with improvisation. Maya couldn't help but smile at the way Kittal almost whispered the last word, as if still unsure whether to be horrified or excited by the concept. And our scientists are learning to better understand the underlying patterns of the universe from you. Progress doesn't have to mean giving up who we are. It can mean becoming more than we were. The High Arbiter's form stabilized into its new asymmetrical configuration, a physical representation of the changes rippling through Concordat society. The decision is unprecedented. But then, everything about humanity has been unprecedented. The Galactic Concordat extends not an offer of integration, but of partnership. A quantum display materialized in the center of the room, showing the vast network of civilizations that made up the Concordat. But now, Earth appeared not as a subordinate point in the pattern, but as a unique node, connected to but distinct from the standard structure. Together, the High Arbiter continued, "We will explore what becomes possible when perfect order meets creative chaos, when standard protocols meet human improvisation. We anticipate unpredictable results." "High Arbiter," Hassan said with a carefully straight face, "I believe you just made your first joke." The crystalline being's form flickered in what might have been embarrassment. "Perhaps humanity is more contagious than we initially calculated." As the formal proceedings continued, Maya found herself reflecting on the journey that had brought them here. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge not by trying to match the aliens' power or technology, but by embracing its own unique qualities: creativity, adaptability, and the ability to find opportunity in chaos. They had proved that progress didn't have to follow a single path, that intelligence didn't have to conform to a standard pattern. More importantly, they had shown that true advancement often came not from imposing order on chaos or letting chaos overcome order, but from learning to dance between the two. The universe, it seemed, had room for many kinds of intelligence, many paths to understanding. And perhaps that was the greatest discovery of all, that in the vast expanse of space, diversity wasn't just an anomaly to be corrected. It was the key to unlocking possibilities that neither order nor chaos could achieve alone. As she watched humans and aliens attempting to navigate their new relationship, Maya knew there would be challenges ahead. But she also knew that facing those challenges together, combining the best of both their natures, they would discover wonders that neither civilization could have imagined on their own. The future was uncertain, unpredictable, and filled with possibilities, just the way humanity liked it.